Welcome back again. Now we're talking about hillbillies and rednecks from the desert. How many times has to go through your head you do not go off the beaten track? Isolationism leads to cannibalism and eating dogs like Michael found out. The hills have eyes. Or do they? But they do. In this movie. Stay on the path that you need to go. Look at it. Who wouldn't go crazy? I'm done.
Hey guys, welcome back to Rewatch Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay, and Halloween Horror Month continues. It continues.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
Ah! Hills Have Eyes, the original.
1975, here we go. In your eye.
I think.
No, it's 75.
You sure?
No.
You sure?
No.
Let the
I
people
think it's 75. I think it's 75.
Let the people decide. Let the bodies decide. That's what I thought too. So this fucking family goes out into the middle of the woods, and their dad wants to, on this family trip, also wants to go to these silver coal mines to see if he can find some fucking silver to sell it on eBay or something, which didn't exist back then. I don't know. But they go out in the middle of fucking the desert of California. I think it was in California. They're trying to get to LA or whatever. They end up, this fucking creepy guy at a gas station says, hey, won't you take a shortcut? Ding, ding. And then they go out to the shortcut, and then a fucking plane flies over. The dad gets frazzled and fucking wrecks the goddamn thing into a rock. They're stuck out there. They're stranded. And by the way, there's these fucking people out in the woods that are like deformed. I mean,
in the desert?
My bad, man. Shit. They're out in the
interesting.
They're out in the desert, in the hills, and they're fucking mutated, and they're weird, and they're nasty, and they just basically take them slowly, pick them apart, and fuck them up in this torture porn slash just grody fucking movie.
This is what hey, Rob Zombie, this is how you make a fucking movie about weirdness in the desert, okay? So, yeah, this family, it's like National Lampoon's Gone Wrong. Y'all fucking stupid. Like, especially they're like, you could have stayed on the highway and you'd rather go find a silver mine. Even when the dude at the gas station told you it had been picked clean, he's like, he's just trying to keep it all for himself. Like, what kind of fucktard are you? Like, you know he's probably telling, he's been out there since 1926.
But it's one of those little decisions, like, that you could make. I mean,
well,
he's obviously not thinking about fucking
Bob,
disgusting
Big
goddamn...
Bob.
Yeah, people murder him and shit. He's just like, no, I really want to go out
Well,
there.
that's true. Okay,
So,
but here's the thing.
but-
Also, when I saw the rednecks in this, and I saw how they handled themselves and what they were all about, the cannibalistic, rapey nature of them, their whole clan. I was thinking, you know what? This is Sunday night in a Kentucky trailer park. Like, this is
I've
what
been here.
I was like, yeah, I've actually stumbled on drunkenly to a party that resembled those hillbillies. So. I will say that one thing about this movie that really stands out to me is the isolation of the actual set. It really does give you a very like scared, like I'm alone in the desert. Nothing, nobody can save me, and I gotta kind of like step up and be a dude and like fucking do what's right. I gotta fucking go out and kill some people.
I need a hero.
Pretty much. Does it stand the test of time as far as it aging? Not really, and I'm gonna say why. It's because the camera work is kind of shoddy at times, and it does have that grimy grit to it that is cool, and it makes it more realistic. But the acting is so subpar sometimes in this. It felt like almost sometimes like a student film.
Sometimes it felt like a porn. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like a rape porn, you fucking sick bitch.
No, not like that kind of porn, but just like the acting came across as a porn. And I get what you're saying, and let me say why this film works. Why it was so fucking vaunted, why it's such a big deal to people, is because easily, and I saw the remake before I saw this, so
yeah.
But it's the same idea.
You ruined yourself on that.
I know I did, but the two films are the same idea. It's the reason it works is because you get a sense from this film very quickly to when the bad shit starts happening that the fucking shackles are off. Like, as soon as the bad shit starts happening in this movie, you get a sense that we're not playing by regular movie rules. Mm-hmm. Anything can happen here. There's rape, there's a baby, and those two situations right there, when they're willing to play in that territory, it fucks with you psychologically and it scares you because you're sitting there, you're thinking, no way, I didn't mean to put those two things together. But you're thinking when you're watching that, it takes you out of a regular situation, because when you're watching any other horror movie, you're like, okay, they're probably going to go to A, B, or C territory here. In this movie, where they, just for a second, go beyond that, they step over the territory, which is politically correct. Fuck you, Fly! Fuck you, Fly!
That's Jeff Goldblum.
It puts you in territory where you're actually in these waters where you're scared because you don't actually know what they're going to do. Like, are they going to fucking kill the baby? Like, what's going to happen? And they actually toyed with that idea, by the way. Wes Craven toyed with the idea, and the cast literally said they'd leave the movie if they killed
Which
the baby.
I don't, like, you know what? Okay, here's the thing about that situation. I read the same thing about the whole, you know, him saying that was originally going to be in the script, I think. They were going to eat the baby and kill it and all that stuff, and the actors refused to be on set if he was going to do that. First off, motherfuckers, it's acting. It's not like, I was like, was there a real baby getting killed and murdered? No. I was like, do you not think that Wes Craven could go to Starbucks across the country and find any of you motherfuckers to replace? Yes, he could. It's like, you're an actor. Like, there's a fucking a dime a dozen in Hollywood. But I get what their, you know, personal idea of what they wanted to be a part of. They didn't like
not
that.
Not Wallace.
But I'll just say this. Look, Wes Craven had a vision and he had an idea, and his story is completely original. It was, for its time, 1,000% original, and it was scary because of the fact that you're alone in the desert, you have no help coming, and you got these hillbillies out there that you don't know how they know the hills, they know the rocks, they know exactly everything around where you don't, and they're stalking you. It's almost like a slasher film in a way that you don't know how it's going to come, the death's going to come at you,
it's like the Bukkake version of a slasher film.
Just, a lot of nuts. You could see the director, what he wanted to shoot and how he wanted to shoot it, but he just didn't have the budget to really make it what he, like his vision.
Which adds to the film and takes away.
It does. It adds and takes away. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, as far as a gritty, grimy, in your fucking face kind of movie, it does that on all fronts. And it's funny because this movie was done, and I don't think it was intentional for it to be grimy and gritty like this. Not in the way that it was shot, but just because the camera wasn't, like, probably, you know, he was probably...
somewhat it was. He wanted a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of film. He was inspired by that to make this.
I feel like the camera he was using was the Toshiba, and he probably wanted a Canon.
It was a Magnavox?
Yeah, he wanted a Canon. Yeah, he just was using whatever he could.
Yeah.
And it's funny that he did this, I think, somewhat accidentally with the grimy and grittiness of the movie, the realism that he kind of brought, and that sometimes happens in the accident. And it's funny that he did that on accident, in a way, and Rob Zombie and people like his ilk are trying to recreate that, and it comes off as too clean. It comes off as too, like, managed or something.
I agree with you on the Rob Zombie take. I don't think it was by accident, though, that he made this so grindhousey, because I think, like I said, I think he wanted to make his own Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of film, and on a low budget, I think in his mind he thought, I'm going to do something nobody else has done. I'm going to put audiences in a seat where they don't know what's going to happen. And that's the whole reason this movie is scary, guys. I mean, it had been done before, but when you watch it back now, it's so creepy because it's shitty looking. Like, it's shitty looking, and the one thing I'll take against it, two things I'll take hard against it, is A, the music is fucking, like, it is ironically scored as fuck. Like, the music, like, oh, you get this scary scene, and all of a sudden you got this movie, it's like, dong, ding, ding, da, dong, ding, and the music is off-putting, and the editing is fucking atrocious, and the acting is... On some parts, it's really good. Dee Wallace, I mean, fuck.
Yeah, but
Wallace,
when Bobby comes in, when Bobby comes in the mobile home, he's like, "What are we gonna do?" Like, it's just like so over exaggerated and things like that. But again, I know that he couldn't afford the best actors at the time to be in the movie.
But you get the sense that they're just not wearing a condom with this fucking movie, man. I mean, you're just like, they could do anything, and it scares you, and it puts you in a place of uncomfort, and that's what horror movies are supposed to do. So it works on that aspect. Same thing with Death Wish. Death Wish did the same thing. Like, when those guys broke into that apartment, like, you don't know. You're like, they're not gonna rape and kill them. Someone's gonna survive. And then they don't, and you're like, oh fuck, and it puts you into a place where, like, I'm not watching a movie anymore, anything can happen, and that's why this movie's so scary to people.
And I will say also, I liked the Hillbillies, Pluto, Mercury, Jupiter, and all them. They were cool. The only thing I didn't like about it does feel like, I guess because they didn't, like, again, it goes back to budget, and I'm not saying that Wes Craven, I'm sure that if he had the budget, he would have done a lot more, but they're not, in the remake, they fixed it, but in this one, they just seem like, you know, hillbillies with, like, bad hairstyles, and they're wearing, like, Road Warrior, like, stuff. I mean, they don't look deformed, because the whole idea of this is it was a nuclear testing facility, and these people are, like deformed and mentally challenged, and that's why they live out in the hills.
The one dude does, the bald guy.
Yeah, he has a big scar, because that's because his daddy fucking tried to crack his head open. And it was weird, like, that whole story was like, well, because he came out big, Like, I don't know, he's like, he came out big and he was a freak. Because he weighed like 20 pounds. Like, first off, your wife's vagina is a Stargate at this point. But second off,
she's just palming kids out like, ready for school, Dad.
But second off, though, why the fuck are you bashing your kid's head in? I know he explained that it's because, you know, cats went missing and people were dying and he was just an evil kid.
He's a redneck idiot.
I know, it just didn't make sense. I liked Pluto. I thought the guy that played Pluto was really good. I like that guy, actually. He's been in Weird Science. Cool guy. I mean, apparently, I've seen some interviews with him. He seems like a really chill guy. And, I think I saw somewhere Wes Craven picked him specifically because he has a unique look. You know what I'm talking about? The bald guy with the his head.
That's what I'm saying.
like
he was good. I liked him a lot in
racer.
this because he looked more natural. There was no makeup aesthetic and stuff, and it made.
That's kind of like
well,
slide against him because it's like you look deformed. I mean, but he seems like he's a good actor.
But he used that. He got a character part off of it, so I mean, it works good. His death was amazing, by the way, with the dog. That scene, that scene was really fucking good, dude. When one of the half of Beauty and the Beast, which if you name your fucking dog's Beauty and the Beast, you deserve whatever's gonna happen to you. But he goes down the woods and then he sees the bunny. He's like, ha 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 ha! But then the dog fucking comes out of nowhere, and that scene actually scared me. The dog scene and the dog, they close up that. This is the whole point of this movie. Sometimes it's shitty editing and it's terrible acting. But sometimes, maybe like you said, by accident, there's this one scene and you're like, that gets to me somewhere deep. Like the dog, when all of a sudden, I think it was a different dog, they go to the dog's face and the dog's face is all right in there and the dog is making these noises. I was almost scared of the fucking dog. It was so creepy because the dog was like, oh. the noise that the dog was making was so fucking out there. And that scene was cool, the way that the dog kills him. But first of all, I want to say, why the fuck is the guy wearing an Ohio State shirt in Michigan State colors? That bothered me the whole goddamn movie.
Only mentally challenged deformed people like root for him.
No, this is one of the guys in the camp. Fuck you, man.
I know.
No, but one of the members of the family is wearing an Ohio State shirt.
Well, I think
fucking Fort's green.
Are they from weren't they from Ohio?
No, they're from, I don't know where they're from, but Ohio State's not fucking green.
Okay, and by the way, I want to say something else. I noticed this in the original way more than I did in the remake. For some reason, Bobby and his sister, it didn't.
Oh yeah.
It felt very incestual the way they were hanging out. Like, I don't know why.
They were fucking off camera.
I know they were totally doing something because he had his dick in her mouth at some point because it was just like this weird. Like, it was just this weird like chemistry that they had going on. It didn't feel like brother and sister. It felt like they were like boyfriend girlfriend.
When he kills the final guy is the worst because she jumps up in his arms and he's holding her with her fucking snatch in his face and she's on top and going, yeah, Bobby, yeah, and she was fucking annoying, by the way, because when he goes back he's like, I gotta make sure, and dude, his whole face, like the whole movie, just his face was like, is that a girl? Like, why? It's like, he was just weird.
Well, not just that though. You know what? I took an issue with not just that because they kept it in the remake too, but when Bobby finds Beauty ripped apart, and he comes back and he's like, I don't want to say anything. Like, I mean, I'm like, motherfucker, tell him that she got ripped apart and her goddamn insides are her outsides now, and we got to go.
I get that. He probably just thought an animal did it.
No, dude, because it was slit open.
Well, he was free. He didn't want to scare his family. He was trying to do the right thing.
Fuck your family. Like, I'd be already gone down the road.
Fuck your family.
I'd be down the road and like call on my phone like, hey, you guys might want to leave. Or leave a note. Leave a note.
Another thing, the girl that was from the backwoods. See, in this one, the original,
Ruby,
the guy at the gas station was trying to quit. He was like, I'm done. I got a styrofoam with a fucking ear in it. I'm done. I want to leave. And they wouldn't let him. And that fucking creepy guy was like, Daddy. But
I felt really bad for Ruby. I like Ruby a lot.
But still, okay. For one, how did you get in there in the middle of the fucking woods? Because her legs were smooth as shit. So, I mean, there's been nights where I might have.
That's so good that you brought that up because I'll tell you what. I'd have porked the shit out of that girl. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, when I saw her, I was like, who wears short shorts? You wear short shorts.
She doesn't look...
She looked good.
And Wes Craven said he kept throwing dirt on her because he was like, you don't look like a fucking mutant.
She looked like, I don't know, a fucking cave woman that takes control. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, she was hot. Like, kind of.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, she just did not look, dirty, like deformed and nasty. Ruby helps out by striking, by taking a rattlesnake and letting it fucking strike Mars. Yeah, and then he's beating the shit out of fucking Mars with a goddamn, what is it, a rock or some shit. And then it just ends. It just says the end.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way that it ended.
As fuck.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I mean, I know how it works artistically. I could see that that's the vision. because you know you don't know what's going to happen now, or as far as like that was just
And they
it was just
eventually did a sequel. So.
But yeah, but it always felt like you know the end of a TV show is like, what will happen next to our heroes in the desert? Will they get out? Will the baby survive? Will Ruby stop being hot?
So
find out next time.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, this movie it works on a level that it puts you, especially back then, it puts you in a place where it's so grindhousey and it's so poorly edited and shot at times that it seems realistic in the fact that they'll go to any lengths. When you involve the baby and you have a rape, it's awful. I hate it when they put rape in any movies. I just don't like it. But
well, that's good. That saves you.
I just never. I think you can get your scares someplace else. But I understand. At the end of the day, they do something with this movie, and the reason it's so, respected and so adhered in the horror community is that they put you in a place where they'll do anything, and movies often don't do that. So amidst all of its problems and amidst everything that's wrong with it, it's savage as fuck, and that makes it scary, and the whole situation is scary, so you overlook a lot of the issues with it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, for me, it's a 7.
Yeah, I'm going to give it, despite what I said, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I still think that, it's graphic as fuck. They've done it. Wes Craven did a wonderful job in how he told the story, the isolationism of the film, bringing the slasher element into it. Classic horror movie, classic, and it fits in perfectly with the pantheon of classic horror movies. So 7.5 for me as well.
Alright guys, comment down below, let us know what your all's thoughts are. Surprisingly, this movie actually has a negative audience score and a positive...
Well, fuck 'em!
Positive critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. So that leads me to ask you, it's close, it's like 49% rotten or whatever, but let us know what your all's thoughts are of this movie. When you saw it, like did you see it in today's time or did you actually see it when it originally came out back then? I'm curious to know what your all's thoughts are. Comment down below, let us fucking know. We got the remake review for it coming up. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn whale opinion.
There you go.
Yeah!
Stay thirsty.
Ha ha! Beauty and the Beast!